Today we're going to be talking about a UFO sighting. In 2008 in Stephenville, Texas, there was a massive UFO sighting. To this day, it still remains one of the most significant UFO sightings due to the amount of people that witnessed it. There have been documentaries made on it, and today I have a special guest, an eyewitness to that UFO.
So, it was 2008. And I was with two buddies. And I actually got their permission to drop their names. So, Matt Winhold and Justin Haskey.
Yay.
And at the time I was living with Justin Haskey, but I mean, one of those, just kind of a sidebar piece, factoid there. But we decided that we were going to go get dinner.
Okay.
And we were going to go get dinner at this little Mexican food restaurant that was just like down the street. And
around what time was this?
It was like 7:00.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the fall/winter time, because it was already dark. It was dark.
In the article it said January. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So so we got in the truck, got in my truck, and we started driving down my street, which at the time I lived on Turner Street. And Turner Street, it might exist still, but I know that the neighborhood that I lived in doesn't exist. It's been taken over by a campus now. And I want to say they even like tore the house down that I was living in. But
you lived like off campus in a like college house?
Okay. Yeah, like pretty much right off of campus. So It was like tennis courts, street, my house.
Okay.
So yeah, it was, I walked to school every day, and barely had to drive my truck. But the thing about living so close to campus is that everybody else parks there. Like, will park on your street, park in your yard.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah. But so we got in the truck and we started driving, and we're just, we're cruising down my street, Turner Street. And when you hit Harbin, which was a big cross street, Turner Street kept going, but you had to kind of like catty corner turn.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of giving you the details that like the very specific details that I remember. And so as you crossed over Harbin, you kind of had to go right and then turn back left to get back onto Turner Street. And then Turner Street continued on the back side of the strip center that the restaurant was in that we were going to.
Okay.
And there was a slight incline. And as we started to drive up the incline, that is when, like, I would say simultaneously, we all noticed the lights in the sky. And they were, obviously we didn't know exactly what they were immediately, but we knew they weren't normal.
What made you think they weren't normal? Like, what made you think they were not? It wasn't just like an airplane or
they were
a helicopter.
They were huge.
Okay.
So they were big, and they were very bright. And what
color were they?
So it's funny you ask. So over the years, I've had time to think about it, and like rack my brain over, what it could have been, or why they were the way they were. And so the best way that I can describe it is they were the color of yellow street lights. So like that orangey,
like amber color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And
were they in a straight line across the sky, or were they varying heights?
No. They were at an angle. So they were probably at about a 30, anywhere from 15 to 30 degrees, like up in the sky.
Okay.
But they were at a sharp 45-degree angle in the sky, and they were all in a line like that.
Okay.
And they were far enough apart to where you could tell that they were either Like I said, I had a lot of time to think about it, but what I could discern from it is that they were either spinning, like actually spinning,
Independently spinning?
well, with one another. So like if they were attached to something large that was spinning, or they
Okay.
were or they were blinking in sequence like Christmas lights would down a like down a fascia board or something to make it look like they were moving or like
Okay.
in some sort of motion. Um, and about that time, we jumped out of the truck. We had a line of cars behind us. We had 4 or 5 cars behind us. There was one car behind us that forgot to throw his car into park. Um, Nearly hit the guy behind us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I got my cat right here. Hi, Butters. And so we're watching this thing, right? And I mean, we're freaking out, right? Thank you, Butters. So, and we're like freaking out. We're like, what is this thing? What is this? What is this?
Were the lights evenly spaced apart?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I would say they were relatively evenly spaced apart.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we were literally freaking out. We were cursing, we were yelling, we were pointing at the sky, saying, "What the f is that? What is that? Look at that thing!" And
Were the other witnesses that had stopped their vehicles, were they doing the same thing? Like pointing and looking up, like, what is that?
yeah,
Were they asked, like, were you guys like talking to each other? Like, do you see
every
that? What is that? Do you guys, what do you think it is? Like, okay. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, no, that I mean, yeah, that's exactly what we were doing, and um, we were kind of in our own little like bubble, I guess you could say, right? And nothing else really mattered at the time, and we were all asking, like, "Are you seeing this? Like, is this? Are you seeing what's happening right here? Like, do you know what this is?" Um,
Did anybody have an explanation at the time? Did anyone have a theory of what it could have been?
no, no,
No.
I remember. You know what I do remember is I was reacting pretty. I don't want to say emotionally, but I felt like I was the one that was like already thinking, like, dude, this is extraterrestrial. This is not government. This is not
Military.
it's not military. This is not somebody with a recreational drone, because back then in 2008, like drones were not really widely publicly
No,
known,
they
nor
weren't
were they
commonplace like
used.
they are now. No.
Right. Nor were they even in it, and even if they were, they weren't as big as
True.
whatever thing was. Um, and there was no sound, absolutely no
No
sound.
hum. No.
No hum, no beating, no
Mhm.
no pulsating, um no vibration, nothing whatsoever. So as we sat there and we stood in the street and we watched it, and what felt like forever. I mean, looking back, I bet it was maybe a minute and a half of total interaction. Um, but it was so impactful. It was insane. So we watched it, and as we watched it, it started to move to our left. So it's right. So
Okay.
the first time that we're actually seeing it, because the
How,
whole
how did you know it was moving? Like relative to
because
what?
it was physically, because we've watched it cross over the building, cross over the highway, and go sit over a cemetery.
Okay.
And so we watched it.
How fast was it moving at that point?
Oh, maybe I would say maybe like 15 miles an hour.
Oh, super slow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. The interesting thing is one of the things that I remember about that specific incident, about it moving across the highway and over the building, across the highway and over to the cemetery, was when it hit the like basically when it hit the vertical line, essentially, like if you took a line from the shoulder of the interstate and drew it straight up in the sky, when it hit that line, it went out.
Like went completely black?
It went completely dark. We didn't know where it was. We didn't know where it was going. We didn't have any clue. And
So
then
it turned its lights off.
turned its lights off. And I
Okay.
mean, really, and the only reason that would guess that it would do that is to decrease detectability. So
right, because cars were probably going over the interstate
right,
or highway or whatever it was.
Yep.
Okay.
Car cruising down the highway and it went out. And at that point, I remember people screaming, "Where'd it go? Like, what is it? Where did it go? Where the F did
Do you
it go?
see it? Do you see it?
Yeah, do you see it? Is it back over here? Is it back over there?" And then somebody said, "No, look, it's over there across above the cemetery." Because in Stephenville, where Lillian and 377 meet at that intersection, there's a cemetery on the corner of the street. And it's a pretty large cemetery, and it's an old cemetery.
Okay.
And so it lit up again across on top of the cemetery. So as it was hovering over the cemetery, it lit up again. And it was doing the same thing.
Same three lights.
But this time it was flat. It wasn't at like a 45-degree angle.
Oh.
It was flat now. So
were the lights on the bottom of the craft or on the top of the craft? I mean, like, what would you think?
I would guess the middle.
Middle. Okay.
Yeah, I would guess the middle if I had to guess, right? Because there was no, anytime it went out or it got close enough to where we were like, this thing's getting awful close, there was no shape. There was no physical entity that we
So
could.
at that point, you couldn't tell if it was a triangle, a cigar, delta, typical UFO. You couldn't tell.
Right.
Based on the location of the lights.
Correct. Now,
okay.
over the years of, because it's almost 2026. This is almost 20 years ago. Over the years, I've thought that it was most likely triangular, just due to the fact that it had three lights.
Okay. So it was over the cemetery, and now the lights are flat.
Yeah. So it went over the cemetery. Lights are flat at this point, but it still looks like it's spinning. And over the years, I tell the story the same way, and I never wanted to tell the story in the way that made me feel absolutely certain of absolutely certain that I knew what it was doing. Which is why I give the two sides of like, it was either spinning or the lights were blinking in sequence like Christmas lights to make it look like it was spinning.
Right. What do you think the point of it going over the cemetery was?
If I had to guess, if I had to get like super paranormal, right, and like had to guess, I would think that it was probably reading or trying to figure out what the region was. Right. So like maybe trying to figure out
like mapping
what our culture does. Why does our culture bury its individuals all in like one spot? Okay. Right. I mean, like, who knows? It could have had like ground penetrating technology.
Right. Could have had LiDAR.
Right. Exactly. So it was over the cemetery, and then we could tell it was starting to come back over the road. So as it started to come back over the road, when it hit that hypothetical line with the shoulder of the highway, it went out again.
Whoa.
It went out again. No sound, no lights, no dark spot in the sky where you could say like, yeah, there's the object.
So it wasn't blacker than black. It wasn't like you could easily see, even though the lights were off, you could see that it was blacker than the actual night sky or anything like that.
Yeah, there was nothing.
It wasn't reflective. It wasn't reflective or anything.
No, I mean, like, if the lights never turned on, you'd have never known it was there.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
Ever. So as it crosses back over, it comes back on. The lights come back on as it gets pretty much over the restaurant that we were about to go eat in. Okay. Right. And mind you, this is all happening within like a minute and a half.
Wow. Okay.
Right. And so it comes back over. And when it comes back over or moves back over, it's damn near in the same spot that it was in whenever we first started to witness it and watch it.
Okay.
But what's interesting is this time it's way lower.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lot closer to us and it's fucking bright.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now,
And,
at this point, did more people pull over to like went to watch it? At this point?
you know, I don't remember. I was
Right.
so
You're looking at the UFO. You didn't care. Right. Right.
you know, and even if we had video phones back then, like I don't even
Oh,
know
that's right. That's before
good ones. Like
video. Yeah, that was back in
yeah,
the flip phone.
pretty much. And I mean, I don't even know if I would have been in the state of mind to be like, I need to pull my phone out and video this.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
was in a completely trans state of mind of like, what the fuck is this thing?
Right. So that was gonna be that was gonna be my next question. What was your feeling? Was it awe? Was it just what the fuck? Was it? There was no fear. There was no like trepidation. Nothing.
So a teeny bit
At that point. Okay.
yeah, but really, like I was saying a second ago, I felt like I was reacting in a way that like I was like, this is fucking aliens. Like this is it. This is what I've been waiting for.
Right.
Right?
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. As you know, beforehand, before any of this ever happened, like I've always been very into I guess the paranormal activity, uh aliens, Bigfoot. You know, I'm a big believer in Bigfoot.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah, I love to go to the Bigfoot gathering and convention in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. That was super legit, you know, and even to hear, you know, a couple of hundred people tell a story that is pretty eerily similar to one another. It's just like it's almost undeniable. Like you would have to be an extreme skeptic to deny 220 something people that just told you a story that's
identical. Yeah.
that still makes their skin crawl, makes the hair stand up on their neck, like made profound impacts on these people, right? So, and that's what I feel like this did to me.
Yeah.
And you know, the documentary that came out on Netflix, Encounters, I hesitated to watch that for a while.
Why? You thought it was going to trigger some old memories?
You know,
You thought it was not going to be well done? What?
no, I think part of me didn't. I think part of me didn't want to know more about it.
Okay.
Because for 20 for 20 years this had taken up a little space in my brain.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single day that I didn't think about it.
Wow.
Thought about it every single day for 20 something years. And
because you kept questioning, was it real? Was it UFO? Was it
yeah,
did I really see what I really thought I saw?
like
Yeah.
sometimes I would wake up thinking about it.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, I feel like this, and I haven't talked to Justin Haskey. I haven't talked to him in ages, but like we were saying in the pre-interview a couple of days ago, I still talk to Matt Winhold pretty regularly. And you know, I told him, I'm like, hey dude, I'm going on this podcast, bro, and I'm gonna talk about our experience. I was like, do you care if I name drop you? And he's like, no, dude, do it.
I appreciate you getting the permission. Yes.
Yeah. And I said, can I give her your information? And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, if you want to, because I mean, everyone's gonna have a different perspective of what happened.
True. But he can also collaborate what you saw. So.
Yeah, and to be 100% honest, he and I have never sat down and just been like, tell
Are
me
you
your
serious? In 20 years, you've never talked about it together, like rehashed what you saw it?
Right.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we buried it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it made profound impacts on both of us, and I think we just kind of buried it and said, you know what, it
Probably
is
a guy thing.
fucking saw it and like left it at that. So, you know, this at this point, you know, it's low. You know, whatever this thing is low.
Well, what would you say the altitude? Okay, so the shopping center buildings are how
Yeah,
high is
they
how high?
So your average telephone pole is about 40 feet.
Okay.
Okay. And that's like your average city telephone pole. You know, your rural telephone pole or your job pole is going to be about 16 to 20 feet.
Okay.
And it was, it was well above the telephone poles. I would say it was at maybe 120 feet in the air.
Okay.
And I mean, and that's pretty low.
That's low. That's low though for a craft.
Yeah, for whatever the fuck it was low. So as we're watching it, it it stops and it's still spinning or blinking, but at about the moment that it stops, maybe for like a second or two, right after that, it starts to ascend
Oh wow.
and it just keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going and it goes until it's like
Like a pinpoint?
like the brightest star in the sky is what it looked like.
It went okay, how fast did it do that?
Within 15 to 20 seconds.
What?
Yeah, it just went and just rose, just ascended into the.
How did you even follow it then if it went that fast?
Well, it stayed pretty linear.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't like shooting back and forth.
Right. Right. It wasn't like zigzagging or trying to.
Not yet.
Oh.
Yeah. So as it got to what we would consider like the height where all three lights. So here, let me back up. So when it got to that height, the lights either came together or it was so high in altitude that all three lights just looked like one light.
Right.
Right. It was just so far away.
So-called vantage point where like everything comes. Yeah.
Right. Right. And I mean, maybe a couple of seconds after it stopped, it shot across the sky and stopped. And when I say shot across the sky, I mean I, I bet it went half a mile in a second.
Wow.
And then it shot back.
Like the same spot? I mean, relatively.
Same exact spot.
Wow.
And this is so, and then this is where I leave myself open to possibilities. Because what it did next is it either moved just like it got through moving at like hyper speed and went out in the process, like turned its lights out in the process of moving, or it shot into hyperspace. It did one or the other because it moved again, and when it moved again, it went out, and we never saw it again.
Wow.
So that right there is my visual anecdotal experience of what happened.
So how long would you say this whole entire experience lasted?
Well, I mean, for me, like almost 20 years.
Right.
But yeah, but the actual
actual time?
Yeah, the visual experience, I mean, maybe like a minute and a half to 2 minutes,
All that happened in that fast of time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Very compressed, but it's every bit of it to me in my mind is still in slow motion.
Right.
I can still see the building. I can still see the street. I can see the street lights. I can see the people behind me. I can see Justin in the back seat. He's on the phone with his dad because the Haskies owned the radio station in Stephenville at the time.
Okay.
It wasn't the ranch. What was it? It wasn't 95.9 the ranch. That was more of a popular one. That was, I mean, it was a little larger. It was more than local.
Anyway, so he's on the phone. He's on the phone with his dad, trying to say, "Hey, guess what I just saw?"
And I remember him saying, "We just saw a UFO in the sky."
Wow.
And that's what he said. So after that kind of after that experience, we I was freaking out. And when I mean freaking out, like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
Right. What do you do with that moment? Right.
I didn't know what to do. My mind had just been expanded to the point of not being able to contain it.
Right.
Because what I thought I knew about the universe and the earth and the skies just went like this.
Right.
And just expanded exponentially in a matter of 2 minutes. And so we go to the restaurant. It's a Mexican food restaurant.
Yes, and chimichangas.
Yeah, we got, and this was back when I was drinking. So I'm sober now, but so this was back when I was drinking, and I walked right up to the bar, and I went down the line at the bar, and I touched everybody on the shoulder, and I said, "We just saw fucking aliens outside. We just saw UFOs.
Crazy.
I don't care if you don't fucking believe me or not. This is what I saw."
Real quick, my Zoom meeting only has 10 more minutes. I didn't pay for the premium.
Oh, good. So here, I'll speed it up. So,
okay.
And so after watching this documentary, it's called Encounters. And so I finally did watch it, and it gave me a big sense of relief. As a matter
When was this documentary made? How many years after the fact?
Probably 12 to 15 years after the fact.
Were any of your friends in it?
No. So, but people that I knew were in it.
Okay.
People that I knew of. So there was a police officer. Oh man, what was his name? Was his name Chewy? I think his name was Chewy. And then there was a Hispanic police officer that was in it. That was a Tarleton State police officer. He was a campus cop.
Oh, okay.
And there was a couple of incidences that they had with the object. A couple of experiences that they had.
Yeah, I'm gonna link the documentaries into my chat. So if people want to actually like go and watch it after the fact, and
they can. It's the very first story out of the documentary.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it starts off with a bang. So after watching the documentary, what I learned is I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
And the idea that like it messed with me for a long time in my head. I learned that it ruined families. It, caused divorces. It caused people to dive deep into the paranormal realm, and they couldn't get out. They just kind of,
some of those rabbit holes. Yeah, be careful. Yeah.
They just kind of spun out on it. I don't want to. I want to say this was the documentary that there was a gentleman in the woods, outside of his house, watching it through the trees, and he said he could see the object.
I heard this thing, according to the research I did, it was like one of the biggest UFOs they've ever encountered.
Right.
Really large. So would you say that was like a mothership, or was what you saw was maybe a scout?
Like a scout or like a drone, not like
right.
Know of today,
but other people in the area saw the actual mothership, right? I mean,
right.
Saw the
yeah, did. And so when I woke up the next morning, I went to biostatistics. I went to biostats, and of course, I'm blowing everybody up. Did you fucking see what happened last night?
Of course. God, that has been one of the most exciting experiences in your whole entire fucking life, right?
Yeah. And so there's this girl that I sat next to in class.
Hey, if we run out of time, I'll just start a new Zoom.
How much time do we have left?
I don't even know. Just keep going.
So I think we have about 7 minutes left, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. So I asked her, I said, "Hey, did you see what happened last night?" And she said, "Yeah, I saw what happened, but I saw 18 lights strung across the sky in my backyard." And she lived out. Yeah, so out in her pasture, she saw 18 lights strung out. But yeah, if you watch the documentary, it's really interesting. Whatever it was chased by F-18s. They couldn't catch it.
First they denied that. First they denied that there was F-18s out there. But then they retracted that, and then they tried to say that, oh no, those were just the fighter jets that everybody saw.
Right. Yeah. They were busting out windows, dude.
Yeah.
They were flying way below the hard deck.
Wow.
They were busting out windows, rattling homes. we had I think the Tarleton State cop was chasing it in his police car. I don't know if they have the police dash cam video, but they've got the recorded line, and he's pretty certain he's saying like, dude, there's something out here, man. I don't know what this is, but there's something out here.
18 lights. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, I guess it depends how far apart the lights were, but that seems like a lot. Like that had to be a pretty big thing. Wow.
yeah, I mean, yes, because like
So how did this documentary finally give you closure? Because you said that it's affected you for all these years.
Yeah, it did. It gave me closure. Because I specifically remember the next day when I woke up, I wasn't thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah. So kind of an interesting thing there. A very big, impactful thing in my life. And my ex-wife, I used to tell like I would start drinking and dude, it would start coming out. I mean, it would just be like, and she'd be like, "Oh, here comes a fucking
like, fuck, here's that fucking story again."
Dude, but the thing is that people believed it. Like people believed it. It wasn't hard to convince them. Not that I was trying to convince them, because what I saw was what I saw.
Exactly.
But it wasn't hard for them to be like, "Wow, that is crazy. That's an impressive story." So,
well, yeah, I mean, you convinced me the first time I heard about it. So
yeah, it's a pretty wild one.
I mean, yeah, people can make up things, but this doesn't sound like this sounds like an authentic story that you're telling.
Yeah,
So,
and yeah,
I mean, what would be the point of making it up, right?
yeah, story hasn't changed in 20 years.
You're right.
Yeah. So it was a pretty wild experience. Obviously it's one that I'll never forget. I've convinced myself at this point that it was something extraterrestrial. It wasn't of this world. What it was specifically, I'll never know.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what keeps the spirit alive of it. I almost feel like if I knew, like,
right. If you had an easy explanation, you wouldn't still be thinking about it.
I knew like the plot's over with at that point.
Exactly.
So, but
well, thank you, Caleb. Oh my gosh, thank you for telling me your story. That's awesome.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Well, wait till you have all my listeners listen.
Yeah, I can't wait. Send me the link.
I will. Once I get edited, I will. And get ready for having a bunch of girlfriend requests.
Yeah, I know. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Okay. Yeah, they're gonna hunt you down. They're like, "Who's this hottie?" So, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Was it a UFO? Was it a secret government craft? Was it a weather balloon? Or was it a figment of Caleb's imagination? Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys later.